Jimmie Johnson.
Hey.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Sneaking through the curtain.
I see that.
Okay.
Hey. How are you? Good. Good.
We're going to go ahead and roll now with Jimmie Johnson, 5-time defending NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion. Big winner here before at the Brickyard. He's currently second in points. He's got one win on the season. Jimmie, before we start it off, I'm going to ask you a couple things.
Okay.
Coming to the Brickyard, it's one of the more prestigious events on our schedule. You've won it before. You know what it means to kiss the bricks. And then also, this is the first race in what they're calling the 5-race Sprint Summer Showdown. You can win $1 million at the end of that, heading out of Atlanta. Talk about it, what it means to win at the Brickyard. Talk about the cool deal with the Sprint Summer Showdown.
Yeah, the Brickyard to me is it is such a tough race, and there's only a couple tracks on our schedule that when you walk into the track, you feel the history of the facility, and this is one of them. The focus and the notoriety of this racetrack and its history worldwide throughout motorsports, and it builds in my mind, and I have that sensation when I walk around and think of the men that have raced here before me, and the world's greatest have been here and have competed. So very excited to be here once again. Very fortunate to have won 3 times. Hopeful to win a 4th. And the 500 and the Brickyard 400. It's argued back and forth which is more prestigious and important. And it's tough for me to pick one, but they're both very special, and I'm very fortunate to have won at both of them. With my upbringing throughout motorsports, my eyes were on Indy, so it's extra special for me to come here and compete at this track and to have won here. I can remember all the races I watched with my grandfather and my dad, and watching the Indy 500, so it's really special to come back. As far as what Sprint is doing with the shootout, what's the exact name? Showdown?
Sprint Summer Showdown.
Sprint Summer Showdown?
You got Regan Smith in the first round.
Okay. There's rounds? I don't even know how it works.
Direct TV thing.
No. David, don't confuse it. It's
Okay.
Sprint
Yeah, I
Summer
get confused
Showdown. 5
really
races,
easily.
Starting here through Atlanta, you win any of those 5, and then win the
Qualify
Atlanta
for
race.
it. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough to do, and hopefully someone does it, because there's a lot of money up for grabs, and the component where it links in the fan and also the driver's charity, a lot of good can be done with that $3 million. So I'm excited for it, and I think it will bring a level of excitement, a good talking point, and maybe spice things up a little bit. So I'm very, very happy it's here. I'm proud of Sprint to dig into their pocketbooks and into their wallets and pull out some cash and put it up.
Okay, we'll go David and Bob. Go ahead, David.
You talked a great deal about the prestige of winning here. In golf, people are measured by their majors, tennis by the Grand Slams. Do you feel like that's a fair comparison? There's 4 major races, I guess you say, in
Yeah.
NASCAR. With Coke 600 this, Daytona 500, I've got dogs in there. But when you look at it, you and Jeff are the only 2 that have won all 4. And like Carl Edwards, who leads the points, not won any of them. Kyle Busch has won 100 races in all these series, has won 1 time. Is that a fair way to measure greatness now, that by winning that like you do in other sports?
I guess we have more ways to measure. And when I think of golf and you look at majors, I don't know. It depends on how you look at it. They have number 1 in the world, then they have their FedEx Cup, and then they have the majors. I think it's relatively similar, and we as a sport haven't focused on the majors as much as maybe golf has, but it's there for us, and us in the sport. You have your 4. I think there's probably 5 or 6. There's just some tracks with a ton of history that we all dream about winning at and competing on those tracks. And when you walk into those facilities, you're like, I'm here. So we do have those tracks.
But can you say a driver's great if he hasn't won at those tracks?
Man, if Jeff and I aren't the only 2 greatest drivers, or the 2 best drivers to sit in a car, I mean, there's a lot of other guys. I mean, if you think of everybody before us. So I don't think that's a fair way. When you look at what Earnhardt's accomplished.
No, I mean current.
Current guys. Okay. I thought you meant ever. Would you stop making me think? I mean, I'm really not good at thinking. I don't know. I think it's a lot like golf, where your career can be defined by a major, but at the same time, number 1, the guy that's world leader of the world or golf world, or leader of our racing world. At the end of the year, that's the man.
go Bob and then Tom. Go ahead,
Talk
Bob.
about doing the nationwide race at one time, driving for junior, and why you want to do that race.
Yeah, I'm just I want more reps on road courses, and I want to continue to improve. I've won one Cup race, as we all know, at Sonoma, but I want to become more proficient at it, better at it, and the way you do that is by getting laps. And I haven't been able to run as many Grand Am races this year as I did last year with the schedule moving around for the 6-hour race at the Glen. So I'm hopeful to go out and run and be competitive, fight for the win, learn something, get some more reps on the track, and just get more experience.
Tom.
Jimmie, this is a very difficult track. Only 6 guys in the field have won. You're second only to Gordon in terms of number of victories. What about this track plays into your strengths? What do you like about it? Why are you good at it? Why have you won and other really good drivers haven't?
It is a very technical track, and the way you drive this track really only applies here. And it took me a while to figure this place out, and I still usually get off to the wrong start because my natural tendencies to drive a track don't apply here with the flat corners, the square corners that we have, no banking. My driving style hasn't worked here, and I have to focus really hard on the way to drive this racetrack. And I think that happens to a lot of people. And when you get off to a slow start, don't qualify well, it's so difficult to make up positions on the track that starting up front is important. Although I say that in the first one I won here, we started well, but we had a flat and had to come back through the field. But it's just extremely difficult to pass, and you get sucked into the mistakes that other guys are making on the track. And you really have to stay in your own head and run, kind of race the racetrack almost in a Darlington manner. Not because the track is going to reach up and bite you and you're going to crash your car, but because you'll go a half second slower if you don't drive the track the right way. And that's why this place is so difficult.
When you said you struggled at first and then you got it, did you have kind of a eureka moment where all of a sudden you went from not real good to great here, or was it more of a gradual progression?
Yeah, it was back when we had testing. We tested here a bunch. I think it was part of some tire tests. But when we came back here in, I believe it was 06, when we won here the first time, something was different from the first lap on track. And went around and put together a lap, and it was top of the board. And at that point, like, whoa, okay. I made some small changes and how to drive the track, and it equaled a lot of speed and in a big chunk of time. Anytime you have a really long straightaway like this, a small mistake leading onto that straightaway it compounds and adds up to so much time. And at that point, the light switch went on, and I'm like, oh, that's how you drive this place.
Thank you.
Yep.